Covered you, but can you just sort of start off and just kind of tell us what the last week has been like for you?
Yeah. Obviously we won the NFC Championship. Uh, After that, it's kind of just like a bye week. You start preparing, but you get some time down, kind of step away and kind of realize what's going on. You don't really. I feel like it's hard to realize the magnitude of everything because you're just, you're in it. And then so we got some time to kind of step away while also still preparing. We got to Santa Clara. We're in San Jose. That's actually where we're staying. But we got here Sunday. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah. So we got here Sunday. Had opening night last night, and then today's kind of like our off day. It's like a normal game week schedule for us from here on out. So
All right, I'll take some questions. Reminder to put your hand up if you have something. Corey, you want to start us off?
Drake, appreciate you doing this first of all, man. But
yeah.
wanted to ask you too. I mean, obviously the journey for you has not been as easy or as smooth as some others. I know you went undrafted. You tried to play with the Raiders, and you end up going to the Seahawks this season. What was that journey like? And then what has this season been like for you to see it all kind of come together now?
It's all been a blessing. Every step of the way, whether, it was good or it was bad. I'm thankful for it. I've learned, I've grown from my journey so far in the NFL. Like you said, going undrafted to trying to find a way at the Raiders and then that not working out and then ended up on a different team within 24 hours of being in, thinking I was going back to Vegas, right? And then you end up going to Seattle. You realize that's a lot further away than you initially thought. It's pretty far from home, even far from where I was in Vegas. And then just like from that moment, it still wasn't easy, I would say. I tore my ACL that rookie year, battled back from that. Last year was, played all 17, so that was a I was proud of that just because of the year before it ended earlier than expected, and then this year just carving out a role on the defense for myself. It's been awesome, and every step of the way, it's been a huge blessing.
Jaden?
Yeah, as someone who grew up in a very sports family and who's played sports your whole life, just what does it mean to be in this position? It's something that I'm sure you've probably dreamed about your whole life.
Yeah, it's the pinnacle of our sport, right? It's the game. It's the biggest spectacle in our country, probably. I mean, it's a huge honor to be able to play in this and be in the position I'm in, and it's honestly even more of a blessing to be able to do it with the people I'm doing it with. I have an awesome. I'm part of an amazing organization. I love my coaches and teammates so much. The support staff, it's pretty cool. It's like I was at NC State and I had that home feeling while I was there, and then you get to this level and you kind of expect things to change, turn more into a business. And I'm so blessed to have great people around me, and it's been just like the same thing as college. Just great relationships, family feel to it. So being able to do this with the people I'm doing it with is has been awesome.
JC?
Yeah, 10 years ago, when you were at Heritage, Michigan and NC State were your first big offers. When you think back to then, to going to NC State, meeting Peyton Wilson, Isaiah Moore, how does that kind of help shape you into who you are now?
Um, 10 years ago, that's crazy. But I'd say just thinking back at those times, like I wouldn't even have ever expected to be in this position. Um, that's really the main thing I think about. Like my goal in high school was to go play Division I college football. And once I got the offers and I got on campus, the goal was to be the best college football player I could be. So in hindsight, looking back at it, I mean, I didn't really think I had a shot in the NFL initially. like right off the jump. It was uh, just like kind of through time, you end up putting yourself in a certain situation to where it's like, okay, this is a reality. So just thinking about those times, I think it's pretty cool to realize where I'm at when it was really, it wasn't the plan, it wasn't expected. I was just very in the moment and just focused on whatever was in front of me at the time. I don't know if that really answered your question, but that's what I think about when I think about myself back in high school when I'm getting ready to go play college football.
Noah?
Drake, what did you learn about yourself over the last 2 years that prepared you for this year and be able to step into a starting role and, play as many snaps as you had, this year compared to the previous two?
You said, what did I learn about myself?
Yeah.
Um, that I can't do it alone. It's, I've leaned on my faith heavily the past 2 years. My faith journey, like it's been incredible to see. I'm so blessed, and my relationship with God has grown so much over the past, since I got to the NFL. And I think that's what I've realized the most is that I need a solid foundation to lean on, and my faith has really provided that for me. I can't do it alone, and God's been with me every step of the way.
Murph?
Yeah, Drake, appreciate this. Number one, how is your health going into this game? And number two, what has the off the field stuff been like? How many tickets have you had to get? How much of a contingent is coming from Raleigh? What's that family situation like?
My health is great. I feel good, ready to go. It's a long season, but I've my body's been great. It's been awesome to be able to play the snaps that I've played and really not have to deal with much injury, honestly. And then family situation, I have 15 people coming to the game, so they gave you 15 tickets to be able to purchase, and I'm using all 15. So it's gonna cousins, aunts, uncles, obviously, my parents, my fiance, my brothers, my fiance's parents. They're all coming out. So it's a blessing to be able to have people in your corner wanting to support the way they are. So it's awesome.
Pat?
Hey Drake, great to see you doing well, man.
Yeah.
I heard your brother on the radio recently. He's talking about, you go undrafted and you tear your ACL. I mean, that could be the end for a lot of players. So how are you able to overcome that and, just mentally for yourself and then also convince the organization too that you could do this and earn this spot?
Um, I gotta go back to my faith. I was I was in a tough spot for sure. But I knew that what God had in store for me, whatever it was, I knew it was gonna be good. I didn't know at times if it was gonna be football after that. And I had to come to terms with that, but I just attacked every single day. I didn't look into the future. I didn't worry about what was to come. I trusted God and His plan for my life, and I just stayed day to day and tried to make the most out of every single day. Um, what was your second part of that question?
Yeah, you pretty much answered most of it. Like, how did you convince,
Oh,
was it
okay.
hard to convince Seattle too, like that, hey, like you could play given you're undrafted? I know sometimes like the draft stock just kind of sticks with guys.
Yeah, that label definitely sticks with guys. But honestly, ever since they've given me so much grace coming back. They gave me so much grace coming back from my injury. I put pretty good tape out my rookie year preseason, and they stuck with me. And like I got cleared a week left in training camp, and a lot of times that's not a positive thing, right? Like they're clearing you, and you might not stick around. So they gave me grace, they gave me time, they allowed me to develop, get comfortable, and they believed in me. So ever since, like I said, ever since they claimed me, I felt like they had a plan for me, and it was almost, that undrafted label was almost lifted off of me once they claimed me. It felt like there was a real plan for me, and they really believed in me.
Corey?
Drake, the question has to be asked. You've faced Drake May in the past. Just your thoughts on facing him now again, in the biggest game of your career after facing him at the college level too.
It's going to be a lot of fun. He's a really good player. He's a great player. Obviously, we played in college, and you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I know the NC State fans are really looking forward to watching it. So I'm excited for it, and excited for the challenge.
Appreciate it, man.
Rob?
Yeah, Drake, what players and teams did you follow, support when you were growing up? And do you have memories of watching Super Bowls yourself that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I was a Steelers fan. I remember when the Steelers played the Seahawks. I think it was in '05. Steelers won that one, and then one of my biggest or main Super Bowl memories was when the Steelers played uh, the Cardinals in the toe drag touchdown in the end zone at the end of the game, and James Harrison pick six. Those are some of the big ones that stick with me.
Jaden?
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me. I'm in the airport. There's so many guys with North Carolina connections in this Super Bowl, whether, from the area or went to Carolina or NC State. What does it say about this state that it has produced so many, top coaches and players?
It's really cool to see. You kind of just said it yourself. The state has produced so many coaches and players, and to see everybody having success at this level, it's really cool to be a part of, and also watch from a different perspective, seeing other guys doing it. It's like every single week I go to a game, and there's some type of North Carolina tie. So it's really cool to have that, and see the success that others are having around the league.
Tim?
Hey, Drake, thanks for doing this. I know it's a big and exciting week. Going back to your high school days and Seattle's first win in the Super Bowl with 3 NC State players on it, I believe there have been 13 straight Super Bowls with at least one NC State player involved, which is a pretty amazing stat for a school that is not as prominent as others on the national scene. Can you talk about what NC State did to prepare you both educationally and athletically to be in the position to do this?
Yeah, my experiences at NC State were second to none. The family atmosphere that I had around there, the growth that I had as a person and a player, has definitely catapulted me to this point where I'm at. I'm so thankful and grateful that I chose NC State back when I was 17 years old. And if I didn't, I don't know if I'm in this position, just based off everything that I've learned and what NC State was to me.
Thanks a bunch. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Noah?
Yeah, Drake, you mentioned, having come off injury and really rebound. You've played every single game the last 2 years. What's been the biggest key for yourself, keeping yourself on the field and being healthy?
I don't know, because I didn't really change anything after. I've always been really routine based. Even when I was in college, I had a really good routine that I stuck to, and it kept me healthy. And sometimes football is just freak things happen. But I have a process that I go about taking care of myself that has worked out really well for me. So just and through that, I had to remind myself that like I didn't need to change or waver from my process. I could stick to that, and I knew it worked, and I didn't have to try and switch things up. Some things just happen. It's part of the game, and just kind of sticking to who I am and what I know, and not trying to abort mission when something crazy happens.
JC?
You mentioned the belief that Seattle had in you. When you go back in time and you think of the belief the NC State coaches or Coach Thunder or your teammates, what has that relationship been like, and who to this day still kind of pumps you up when things may not be perfect?
I mean, the belief from my coaches at NC State was always there. I remember Coach Thunder. I was a freshman. I told you guys when I got to college, I didn't think I was going to play in the NFL. I was trying to be the best college player I could be. I remember Coach Thunder, we're lifting, and randomly he just says it to me. He's like, "You and your brother are gonna go play in the NFL." And that stuck with me. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, there's no way. Like, I'm 5'11", 6 foot, whatever, 5'11", honestly. But if you put me on the pro day uh, uh, measuring tape, but I'm like, there's no way I'm 5'11". I'm at the time I was not very fast. I got faster. There's a number of things that like I don't have the measurables. The NFL only looks at, but he believed in me and he planted that seed in my head and always encouraged me to chase it after that. And fast forward to where I'm at now, and he's always texting me and supporting me and showing a lot of love. And along with all of my coaches, all the guys that were there when I was there, they always texting me, reaching out, showing their love and support.
Corey again.
Drake, I was going to ask you as a kind of a follow up to that, what has the outpouring been like over the last week and a half now at this point from former players at NC State and former coaches as well? Like what have been some things that have stuck out to you about kind of the outpouring there as well?
Um, I mean, there's a lot of text. There's so much support, and it's not like I feel like there's not anything that like necessarily stands out to me because it's who they are. The people that I was with. I had great people around me at NC State, real genuine people. So like when there's not one that necessarily sticks out to me, but they've all reached out and they've always supported me. Like I rehabbed. I just remember rehabbing back in the facility, and all the coaching staff was still there. They were all encouraging me. They all believed in me. Even during times where I might not have believed in myself. So I can't thank them enough for their belief in me and their continued support and love for me.
Hey,
Drake, there's going to be a lot of people watching this game from all ages. Maybe not even NC State fans, kids in the Raleigh community who play football. They might have no idea what your story is and your journey, but for young football players out there that might be in elementary school, middle school, high school, what do you want them to take away and learn from someone like you that has worked so hard to get to where you are?
It's cliche, but like just chase your dreams, right? Like, I mean, I said it multiple times already, but I didn't ever think I was going to be in this position. It's a blessing to be here, and my dad always told me that hard work works. So, uh, no matter what it is, no matter what people say to you, just put your mind to it and go get it.
Tim.
Drake, I want to ask you about a game you played earlier this year, one that got as much attention as any regular season game played in the NFL when you guys faced Philip Rivers. And I was wondering if you could mention what it would be like to play against somebody who came to NC State 6 weeks before you were born.
Yeah, that was an honor, honestly. I didn't get a chance to talk to him after the game. Uh, I really, really wanted to. I've never met Philip, but that was really cool to be on the same field with him. You hear all the stories about him as a player and even as like a person, just the trash talk, the energy that he brings when he's on the field. It was really cool to play against him, and it was really impressive to see him do what he did on the field. He was fresh off the couch and he competed. He competed, but you wouldn't expect anything less from someone like him.
Did you at least get a little bit of trash talk from him on the field or something? Come
I
on.
think I think he probably wasn't talking a lot of trash because his head was probably spinning a little bit. I mean, he hadn't been on the field in 5 years, so he was probably trying to get comfortable out there more so than he was focused on talking trash. But I didn't hear him say anything to anybody, honestly.
Thanks a lot. That's awesome.
No.
All right, JC.
You mentioned your dad, and he was the ultimate neighborhood coach. What's your earliest memories of him coaching you, and how proud is everybody in the family just to be along for this ride?
My earliest memories of him coaching me was probably so obviously my Thayer was allowed to start playing football earlier than I was because he's 2 years older than me. So my dad was the coach of the flag team, and I was not on the team. I was 3 years old, but I was at every single practice. My dad used to put me at deep safety. That was the position I played, pretty much just in the back. And I used to try and go chase the flags and just having fun. And I remember at the last game of the year, he put me in the game for the first time. I was 3 years old, running around there, and it's crazy to think about where I'm at now. Coming from that, and I also my dad, like earliest memory. I just remember he was a tough coach. He was tough on us, but he always built us up and showed us a lot of love. Without him and the lessons that he gave my brothers and me, then I don't think we're where we're at where we're at all. He deserves a lot of credit for a lot of this.
Coach Dorn, you have anything to say to Drake before he gets off of here?
I'm fucking fired up for you, man. Tell you that
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you. We're ready to go.
Yeah. It's funny, I was down at Philip Rivers's high school the other day, and like the 2 months that he just had coaching in a state championship game as the head coach at a high school, coaching his son, then he's playing against you.
That's wild.
And then, dude, a month later, he interviews for the Buffalo Bills head coaching job.
I know.
I mean, think about his 2 months,
Yeah, he's got a lot going on for
It
sure.
was funny
He's
though.
been
He was
busy.
talking about you. He said, we were all in the game plan thinking we're going to be able to pick on this guy. He's this short white linebacker. And he's like, we got in the game and we were all like, holy shit, this guy's really good.
They ran a lot of gap scheme at me, so
Yeah.
I was assuming that was probably the plan. But
Yeah.
a lot of teams throughout the year have tried to do stuff like that. It's been kind of
Yeah.
crazy, but
Well, he was super impressed with you, man. And obviously, you know how I feel. I'm excited to watch you guys, man. Good luck.
I appreciate you, Coach. I really do.
Yeah, it's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you
Do
too.
what you do, man. Go take some pain off some people, man.
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Drake, we appreciate you taking this time. I know the week is so busy. We're going to keep Coach on. He's going to talk hopefully nice about you too. But thank you so much.
Always.
Yeah.
And we are, I'm pulling for you. So
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thanks, Drake.
Yeah.
All right. Questions for Coach Tim Peeler. You want to start us off?
Sure, Coach. Hey, how you doing? Hope all is
Good.
well.
Appreciate that. All is well.
Every year that you've been at NC State, at least one Wolfpack player or alumni has made it to the Super Bowl 13 straight years. What's that say about you, your program, having three in there this year? It's a pretty amazing feat.
It's the pinnacle of our sport, at the highest level, the best two teams in the world, and to have representation 13 years in a row. I didn't even know that. That's awesome. Man, I mean, I can't even put in words what that makes me feel, but I'm super excited. I'm proud of those guys, and it's why we do what we do at this level, is to try to help guys reach their dreams, and that is the ultimate dream, especially if they can pull it off. One of the teams is going to be excited, I guess, and get a hold of that trophy up. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing those guys play against each other, and knowing I had a part in it means a lot.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it very much.
All right, Tim.
Corey?
Dave, obviously just got off with Drake. I wanted to ask you just first of all your thoughts on seeing his development and what he's done at the NFL level and the journey he's gone on, but also just what it means to be able to watch him in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year.
Well, developmentally, top two high school linebackers I've seen play at a game live as far as how he played the position. I left the game and told our staff, like, that's one of the most physical, violent hitting linebackers that can actually run that I've ever seen in person. And I said, I don't know how he's going to make it through college hitting people the way he does. I mean, it was a vicious game that I watched him play in. And, knowing his family the way I did at the time, with they were already on my team, I knew what kind of football family it was. I knew that he'd have impeccable work ethic and attention to detail. I knew how coachable he'd be. I'm not surprised at all that he is over probably extended what people thought he could do in this profession, being as measurables are what they are, but he has everything else and more. And so I'm not surprised. I'm super happy that it did happen though, because
over the years, you've seen other guys that you've coached that you thought belonged in that league, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And in his case, it's happening and more. So, I'm just excited to watch these guys, and him and Bradbury going up against each other on a lot of plays. Like there's going to be several run plays where Garrett's blocking Drake, and so yeah, I'm excited to see that matchup.
JC?
You mentioned how making players' dreams come true. When you think back 10 years ago, you offered Drake. You've seen what Peyton Wilson's become. You've seen what Isaiah Moore has become. What is it like to kind of sit back and think what these guys have done under your tutelage?
It's rewarding. That's why I got into football, the high school level. I felt like I was impacting lives and giving back to the game that impacted mine. And, over the years, there's a lot of them that I'm really proud of now, and know that I had a piece of that journey with them, believing in them when I did, recruiting them, developing them, and in some cases, hiring them in the profession. So yeah, it's really rewarding, and it's definitely, for somebody that really gets off on helping guys improve themselves in the profession, like, man, that's just one example. But there's a lot of Isaiah Moore and Gavin Lockley are now on my staff, two guys that, same kind of thing. They're now full-time coaches excelling in this sport, in the Power Four, and both of them have coordinator titles waiting on them down the road. Both of them could coach in the NFL. Both of them could end up being head coaches. And same thing, I love the fact that I was a part of the journey with them, and still am.
Noah?
Yeah, hey coach, you mentioned it a little bit, but what's it been like for you to watch Drake, go from an undrafted guy, have to go through a serious, injury and come out on the other side and, earn a starting spot in the NFL?
Yeah, I'm thankful that he was able to get on a team that had a need. I think that's one of the things that gets lost, and there's 32 teams and these vets don't give up their jobs at that level. It's hard to get on a team. And when you're a free agent, sometimes it's harder. And when you're a free agent, it really matters what team you end up on. Like some of these teams don't have a need. They just bring you in to be legs in practice. And before his injury, he was able to be at a team in Seattle, and actually got traded there from Vegas, but went to a team that had a need and proved himself, and you think about who he is, and then he has a pretty substantial injury, and he proved himself enough that they didn't get rid of him. Because in some cases, that injury ends your career at that team. And so you can tell that he was able to prove himself enough with Seattle. And now he, has worn the captain's jersey for them several times through the season, I've been told. And none of those things surprise me. Like, I'm just glad that he got on a team that gave him that chance and believed in him the way they did because of his work.
Rob?
Yes, sir. I wonder your earliest memories of watching Super Bowls as a young boy, maybe. What was that like? And you've kind of talked about this a little bit, but how humbling it must feel to have grown into a man who's helped people reach that stage in their career.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to give you specifics. I've loved football since I could walk, and all the 49ers games and Cowboys and Packers and Bears and all those teams, Dolphins, Broncos, like all these teams that were dynasties that had players I looked up to, in my youth. There's really not a specific memory that sticks out. Super Bowl Sunday was a holiday. People got together, and somebody's mom, this was before you ordered buffalo wings on Uber Eats, right? Like, somebody's mom made chili or did something, and we all hung out and went out in the yard and played football. And sometimes, in the Midwest, there was a bowling alley involved at some point, probably, we all gathered at. But yeah, the Super Bowl, pretty meaningful day in young kids' lives, and couldn't wait for the commercials too. Like the commercials used to be some of the best things you got to watch. Like they've really gone downhill in my opinion. Like some of those earlier Super Bowl commercials were epic.
JC?
What do you remember of seeing a tight end at Charlotte Christian who morphed into a Remington Award winner and a first round pick?
Yeah. Garrett Bradbury's quite a story, big physical tight end, really smart, multi-sport kid, was a good baseball player, catcher. That was Pac 14. And at that time, as you guys know, I was trying to rebuild a team. I was just trying to find really tough, versatile football players that could do a lot of things, knowing that I may move guys positionally over time. And Garrett was a guy that, lifted and ate himself into being a lineman, starting on the D line because of his athleticism. And then because of our needs, moved him back to O line and then turned into a leader. And centers are leaders, and super athletic center, one of the most athletic probably that's been through college football in a while. And obviously that, allowed him to win that award and be drafted the way he did. And he's been super durable, knock on wood, in his career. And it's fun watching him. It's kind of another part of this storyline, the fact that he's snapping the ball to a Carolina quarterback, I think is another part of this that's pretty cool. Our state is very represented in this game. Two Charlotte boys at that.
Tucker?
Hey, Coach. Just wondering kind of if you've seen Drake's story sort of influence guys currently on the team or within the program that have aspirations of playing in the pros at the next level, and then even used it kind of on the recruiting trail.
Definitely used it on the recruiting trail. With the team, I don't know. We've been gone. We just got back. Yesterday was my first time in front of the entire roster since we finished recruiting because, the last 2 weeks of January were the last 2 weeks of contact. So I couldn't give you a strong answer on that. I know the guys are excited that I've talked to about the representation we have. But completely, I mean, every recruit I get in front of, I ask them, who are you going to cheer for in the Super Bowl? Have you heard about our guys that are in it and things like that?
Corey?
One guy we haven't really touched on as much, Corey Durden. A little bit different journey. The other two you developed and you had a chance to work with over the course of 4 and in some case 5 years. But, with Corey Durden, a guy that comes over from Florida State just looking for more opportunity.
Yeah.
What was it like to see his development at both NC State, but also now seeing him continue to do the same thing at the NFL level, now finally getting his opportunity this season?
Yeah, I'm equally proud of Corey. Came in with 2 years remaining and he needed a fresh start. Things for whatever reason had transpired the way they did down there, and he was ready for a fresh start. We gave him one, and he was a heck of a player. A guy that, had a lot on his plate family-wise, had children, was engaged. And so different place, different time for him, and trying to learn how to become more than a college student, a man that has a lot of responsibility at that time in his life, and was an all-conference player. I really think he grew up a lot, learned how to handle a lot of responsibility while he was here. I mean, very gratitude-oriented young man. I mean, a number of times he thanked me for different things along the way while he was here. I really appreciated that about him. Sometimes when you get a transfer from a blue blood program, you don't see that. You see more of an entitled guy. And with him, it was the opposite. He was just grateful and really played his butt off. And you look at his NFL journey, like he's been cut several times. He's had to get re-signed. He's, changed teams, and now he's found a home. And I think this is his third team, maybe. I'm pretty sure it was Rams, Lions, and now Patriots. So, he's had to earn this opportunity with them, which is, kind of our path at NC State, earn, not given. And I'm proud of him for sticking with it because I've talked to him several times along the way, and it's like, Coach, I don't know if I'm gonna get another chance. Like, hey, I'm getting cut, and Corey wants to coach one day, so we've stayed in touch and talked about that path for him whenever they do take the ball away. But I'm excited for him. I know he's gonna play hard, man. That guy's got a big motor.
Thanks
Tim?
so much, Dave.
Speaking of thank yous, how often does Garrett thank you for calling his number on that play where he scored the touchdown?
Yeah.
And sort of the seminal moment for all linemen everywhere.
Yeah, the fullback belly to the center was a great play against ECU. And I've had several guys over the years asked for it. And, that's a hard play to get called too. Like, it was great. I can't remember what got us to the 1 yard line, but it did. And so it gave me enough time on a long play to, turn around and tell Drinkwitz to give him the football. But, yeah, and that to me is like the biggest thank you I can give to an offensive lineman is giving them a football to run with. And so that was awesome. I hope I get to repeat that someday for one of our guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Hey,
Coach, you have a lot of former players in the NFL. What is it actually like watching two guys go up against each other and compete, regardless if they're just on opposing teams, but guys like Garrett and Drake that could be going one-on-ones in a variety of plays?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what that's like because I haven't played at that level. I haven't played in a game of that magnitude or coached in one. I've been in a national championship game at FCS, but to say that I know what that's like would be lying. I mean, they're very competitive guys. They're going to want to win this game more than any game they've ever played in. They're both going to give everything they have. And so, I can't wait to watch it as a fan and a spectator, but I think they'd be better suited to give you an answer what that's going to be like. I'm just excited to be a part of enjoying it. And it's going to be hard to cheer for anybody, is cheer for them all and hope that it's a hell of a football game.
Murph, you want to finish us up?
Yeah, I was going to ask who do you root for in a game like this? Would you just kind of answer that?
Yeah,
Have you ever been to a Super Bowl? Any of these players at any point ever said, "Hey, coach, come on, go to the game with us"?
I think those guys get so taxed by their families. I have not. I tried to go to a Chiefs game, Super Bowl a few years back, and for whatever reason, we didn't end up doing it. But yeah, I sit on the couch with a lot of snacks and obviously some nice adult beverages around me and cheer the game on. And I hope that the halftime show is not terrible and look forward to some good commercials. And I want to see a 4-quarter game. I mean, that's what I want to see. It's a really good football game like the national championship was this year, man. You want to see a really good football game when it comes down to that final game of the season.
All right, everybody. Thanks, Coach. And I guess we'll see you soon. Spring practice starts in a few weeks.
All right. See you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.